And welcome back again for another day of fastest map Starcraft replays casted here on RJB's Starcraft Cast. That's me, RJB. I gotta find one of those introduction lines that doesn't suck, because my introduction is garbage, pretty much. Right, so this game we have Barcode, also known as Minchul, a Korean streamer / BJ, which stands for Broadcasting Jockey. And he's playing the Brown Terran. He's playing against FC9OOR. Maybe it's 00R. Not sure what it stands for. Maybe it's a car brand or a car number thing name, a car name. Not sure how you call those things. Series, a car series. Oh, he's playing the Teal Protoss on the left top corner of the map. Minchul is on the right top corner. And this is going to be an absolutely brutal game, because Minchul always delivers really fun games. Although some of his games can also be really, really lackluster, because the guy is one of the most arrogant players. He gets extremely cocky and will just assume he's already won, even when it's kind of obvious that he hasn't. Even when there's no way of determining whether he's won or not. He just tends to throw away games for no reason whatsoever. Because he wants to be BM, he wants to be cocky, he wants to be confident, overconfident. Confidence itself is alright. Shouldn't be confused with arrogance, but this guy is into the league of arrogance. Alright, so FC9 starts off with 3 gateways, not 2, not 1. But 3 at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what he's up to. Will he throw down a 4th one, or will he stick to the 3 gateways? Alright, there's a second pylon. Alright, let's see what Minchul is doing. Alright, there is a command center. There's 2 barracks. He's pumping from 1 barrack. He's not pumping from the second one. No, he's not pumping at all. Alright, now he's pumping. That's the spirit. Don't let that macro go unwasted. Refinery started up. So no 3rd barrack. I am assuming a very early academy. There is 2 gas coming out for FC9. He's making 3 zealots as well. Top side is being scouted. The right and bottom side scouted and still in the process of being scouted by this SCV. Now a probe is coming out for FC9. Take it out into the middle. Starts off with, it's going to be the left. No, it's the right. He starts off on the right side of the map. Starts off with the middle top spot. Going to the right, exactly where Minchul is located. He sees that there's nothing there in the choke. So he just ignores that spot completely and immediately goes into the top right corner. Might he be able to get in? He doesn't get in. Try to turn around. But the probe gets scouted, spotted, sniped. That's the word. Now the Marine is walking into the base of FC9. Forged and cybernetics core have been thrown down. There's 5 zealots there in the base, more on the way. Another one just warped in. Now he's no longer making zealots. The zealots are just purely there to fight off marines that want to be aggressive. Academy has finished. Stim Brigade is on the way. 2 medics are being trained. Yeah, that's the word. They're being trained. Every single race has its own mechanics. Zerg gets morphed. Protoss gets warped, and Terrans get trained. Citadel of Adun. More zealots. 2 robotics facilities. Alright, so he's basically doing the exact same build that we usually see. Although it's slight variation, the purpose of the build is the exact same. And that is shuttles and pressure on the front. Or on the sides. It really depends on, can he break through the front with the reverse shuttle, or will he have to go to the sides? Because, well, if you can't break through the front, you can just fly over those walls, drop your units inside the base of the Terran, and just try and aim to deal damage. He's still on 1 command center. No 2nd command center has come out. He does have the minerals forward, but he decides against building one. He's going for a starport there in the corner instead. He walled off his front. He's using this SCV and these 2 medics to keep zealots out. It's a nice choice, pretty smart to do. He's also keeping his own SCV from entering his base. Now he's letting this SCV in. Gonna put those 2 medics back to finish it. Well, we're gonna make a depot. I prefer a depot, way less risk. Pulls the medics back. The Marine that was scouting in the base has died. Minchul knows exactly which buildings FC9 has up. 2 shuttles are on the way. Storm upgrade will be coming up very soon. Will be researched once he has those minerals. But right now he's spending all those minerals really quickly. Robotic support bay almost finished. Now is he going for reavers or is he going for shuttle speed? 2 Dark Templars coming out. 2 probes have been added. Shuttle speed is on the way. Alright, Storm is also on the way. This gives us pretty good information to base our judgment of. Alright, so Minchul knows that drops are coming, so he's throwing those 3 starports to build raids so we can start sniping those shuttles before they fly in or as they're flying in. Engineering bay being lifted up, gonna get hovered over on the hill there. Marines being pulled back closer to the main command center. Because the distance that you have to cover from here to here is way bigger than from here to here or there to the southern side of the base. This is just a way better position to put your Marines so you can stim and intercept shuttles, given that your reaction time is quick enough. Given that your awareness of the minimap is quick enough. Dark Templars scouting the side there. It's going to make sure no units are located here on the side so you can fly those shuttles in completely unspotted. Will make it harder for Minchul to respond. He's going to have to rely all on his reaction time. But this so happens that there are no units on the sides whatsoever. Those Dark Templars are, right at the moment, not very efficient, but they might prove their use in the future. Because now he's going to scout for buildings being hovered on the side. He finds the engineering bay. Minchul does not know that FC9 has spotted that engineering bay. Now 2 shuttles are being spread out both on the sides. Shuttle speed is almost finished. There's a Templar in there and 3 Zealots in. There's 2 Templars in here and 2 Zealots. Engineering bay almost finished. Gonna get hovered up over the hill. Might even get finished. Might even be hovered over the hill just before this shuttle flies in. Engineering bay is finished. Right now you can see. Now he extends the vision and the range of those turrets. So this drop definitely will be dying before it flies, before it gets over the hill. Well, it'll die about here, so I might be able to get a single Templar out, maybe a single Zealot. This one has joined up with a Corsair. Corsair is going to enable that shuttle from getting in. He sees the turret, so he knows he can't fly in, so he's going to look for a spot that's weaker, which is this spot specifically. He still gets hit by 2 turrets, but his shuttle does not go down. Shuttle gets sniped. Both shuttles get sniped. One gets sniped by Marines, the other one gets sniped by the raids. So the first drop attempt from FC9, this deals no damage. And that is a great advantage for Minchul, because now Minchul can keep building onto his base completely unopposed. No pressure. Instead, the pressure has now been flipped. At least, I always start feeling the pressure as the Protoss right about this point. When you have dealt no damage and you know that the Terran is going to spike and become big really, really quickly because they're both on the exact same amount of SCVs. He's got 3 command centers. Got a lot of gas finished there and now starts adding on factories. And once he has all those factories out, the Terran becomes an absolute nightmare of a monster that you wouldn't want to meet on a dark night on the 13th of Friday the 13th. Not the 13th of Friday. The 13th of a month. Let's just completely ignore that entire line of thought and move on with the game. More engineering mains being constructed there on the sides. He's going to hover even more of them over the hills. Just like these barracks here are providing vision. He wants more vision here over on the sides. So he has more reaction time to do those shuttles and you can see them flying in. And send those raids into the correct direction to start sniping those shuttles. Armories being made, upgrades being researched, more factors being made, machine shops being added on. This is just the calm before the storm. 68 probes against 67 SCVs. Templars being finished warping in. Slowly adding onto his base. Well, I'm saying slowly, but it's quite quick. His base is already pretty quick for his income. And for the game timer, drop comes flying in. Drop gets spotted. Marines get stimmed. Shuttles get target fired. He splits them up. A single shuttle gets through, and this shuttle just so happens to have all of its Templars in there. Storm comes down. Another storm comes down as well. He loses 20 SCVs. That's even Almost 3 SCVs were lost there. That's way more than I thought he'd lose. So really well-placed storms from FC9 there, managing to hurt Minchul. Minchul had his raids in the wrong position. He thought another drop might have been coming from the bottom side. But there was no drop from the bottom side, just one from the west side. And, well, that was honestly mostly just good management from FC9, splitting those shuttles up, making it harder for those Marines to pick up the second shuttle before it could die. The shuttle wasn't very low HP. So well done there, FC9. Nice bit of quick thinking and good control. He's killing something in his own base. I'm not sure what he's killing in his own base here. Ah, he's killing the pylon. He misplaced the pylon. I completely feel it. That can completely mess you up. Although it doesn't really matter here. Honestly, it doesn't matter. But he wants it to look nice regardless. So cannons being thrown up on the sides there. The purpose of those cannons is to deny engineering base from getting vision over those hills. A lot of vultures being made. Vultures are pretty sweet. Mines are great. They're great against vultures. They're against zealots that are trying to hit your tanks. He's already killing his own choke. Don't know if I agree with killing your own choke this early into the game because you're still recovering from that drop. 58 SCVs. It's going to take at least another minute to add another 10 to that count. Once he has 70, he'll be fine though, but he's already being aggressive. Sending his out into the middle, vultures ignoring those cannons because vultures deal pretty much no damage against structures. The drop is coming flying in over the top side of the map. Vultures are being pulled back. Vultures are placing mines. Now the drop is flying in, but the drop gets pulled back because he forgot to control it. Raids were on the way. He sends it back to the cannons. Now it's safe over the cannons, but there's a fight happening on the middle of the map here. A lot of units have gone down to those mines, but the zealots eventually do end up getting control over the middle. Now the drop comes flying in over the middle of the choke. Raids snipe the shuttles. No, the shuttles have been rendered ineffective. The drop is rendered ineffective, and Minchul has now flipped the tables because now he has the upper hand over the middle of the map because there's only 2 Dragoons there on the middle of the map. Units have been split there onto the top side. Raids now finishing off those Dragoons. Corsair hammering away at the raids, but the raids, well, a single Corsair doesn't deal that much damage, so the raids end up on top. Now the vultures are pushing out tanks as well, following shortly behind and closely behind those vultures. Vultures now going to place mines there in the middle of the map. Minchul's minerals are very, very low, but he should be in a fine spot because you don't need that many minerals, you don't need that many SCVs as a Terran, because most of your tanks stay alive for most of the time. Mostly other units end up dying. There's a lot of mines being thrown down here. Observer got sniped. Thanks to the help of those vessels, the raids could spot it. Drop is flying in here from the top side of the map, completely unopposed. There's no units there to snipe it. But the Corsairs are a little bit far in the front. There's 2 shuttles, in fact. The first Templar dies. Second Templar gets down on the low ground. Third Templar as well. 3 storms coming down. He's lost 50 SCVs there. Minchul doing a really poor job paying attention to the minimap. Losing his entire income right there. And now this game is looking very bad for Minchul. Even though he does have control over this portion of the map, he will be unable to replenish any of those units if he does end up losing them. Those mines there do help him just a little bit. He's on 150 supply, of which most is purely mech. 21 SCVs. He doesn't need all that gas, so you might want to pull those SCVs off that gas to help restore your minerals a bit quicker. He's still going for the push here. That's a very bold move, a very brave move. I would elect to pull all my units back and just go for the camp. But he wants to keep that pressure on him. He wants to keep the pressure on FC9. Make sure FC9 cannot go for a finishing move to follow up on that drop that almost killed all of the SCVs that Minchul had. Now the units are coming in. He's going for the attack. He's hammering away at those tanks in the front. The tanks in the front go down, but the tanks here over the hill hammering away at those Dragoons and those Zealots as well. So we only lost 2 tanks. The first wave gets fought off. Those tanks there on the hill, over the hill there, providing a lot of support. The mines also making it very hard. The fact that there's a vessel there and Goliaths there on the low ground means that observers will immediately get spotted out and sniped down by Minchul. Minchul target firing on those observers, making those mines more effective. Right now he's dropping units on top of those tanks. He unsieges his tanks really quickly to prevent his tanks from killing his own tank. It's a really sweet move from Minchul, being very aware of the situation, knowing exactly what to do. But storms coming out on those villagers. A lot of villagers have gone down, but all the villagers have gone down. There's 2 left there, but more units are finishing up for Minchul. Or FC9, I mean. FC9 now loading up more units into the shuttles, ready to drop them on top of those tanks. The tank number has gone down significantly over the course of this fight. Now more zealots being dropped there on the logo next to the tanks. He unsieges most of his tanks, preventing them from dying. He throws down a defensive matrix, but there's a lot of dragoons and zealots now moving out for FC9. Minchul has to pull back his tanks, has to pull them back to his base because his mass has gone down so significantly. He's so very small right now. He's got 42 SCVs. His supply has dropped from 150 to just 100. And do keep in mind, he had 150 supply with only 15 SCVs. And now he has 45 SCVs and 100 supply. That means his mass is absolutely tiny. Minuscule. FC9OOR almost maxed out once again. Very efficiently and effectively using the units that he has. He's not known to be one of those epic micro players, but he's displaying really good target selection and execution of the things he has to do. Minchul has not plugged up the hole that is his choke. His choke is wide open and exposed. He's gonna have to plug that hole up really quickly. Send up over an SCV. He's got 50 SCVs now. You stop mining gas, as I mentioned earlier, that it's always wise to pull off your SCVs off your gas if you want to recover your minerals quicker after taking a really big hit on your workers. Alright, now FC9 is preparing for the next attack. Sending units out into the middle. Is there a drop somewhere in the mix? I don't see a shuttle. I do see a call of Corsairs, but the Corsairs are mostly just there to fly into their deaths. Alright. That I did not expect. I did not expect that. But I understand that he would want to open up some supply space. Observers there. The mine's still doing a lot of damage to the zealots there, but the observer is helping him spotting those mines out. A lot of mines have been placed here in the choke. Dragoons are coming in. Dragoons do pretty well against mines because they can fire on mines from a distance, but those tanks behind the mines are doing an amazing job at taking them down. But units have been dropped inside of the main base of Minchul next to his main command center. I missed that one. He did take down the shuttles. No units were lost there. He went to attack the command center, but did no damage to the command center whatsoever because the command center was being repaired. Now Wraiths are fighting against the Corsairs, but the Corsairs managed to deal some return damage. Minchul is at the stage where he can start rebuilding himself. He's on 59 SCVs. He might want to add about another 21 maybe. Maybe 11 maybe. I'm not sure what number he prefers to go for. But I would personally go for about 75 at this stage of the game. Because there's still factories to be added onto the base. There's still room to build. And it's always better to be bigger. Now mines being placed on the middle. There's no observer close. No observer gets pulled over to the middle to the mines. Spot them out to help the zealots and dragoons clear out those mines. He has to pull back those vultures back to his choke because this is way too many units for him to deal with. Although the mines, now a new wave of mines has been laid down. That will slow FC9 down significantly. Stargates are being thrown down on the bottom side of the map. So we will be seeing carrier transition if FC9 fails to break through the front here. Those mines really are slowing him down. Minchul is doing a great job of using as little as he can to slow FC9OOR down to buy himself some time. But his vultures now going down. Observer spotting out the mines, but the zealot's still going down to the mines nonetheless. Now he's gonna meet the front here, but there's a lot of tanks here in the front that are gonna slow him down and prevent him from going in. Those dragoons are pretty bad against tanks. Zealots are better against tanks, but zealots have to get in there on top of those tanks, and if they can't get on top of those tanks, everything is basically just going into the meat grinder that is the siege tank. Right, so he threw down some scans. I wasn't sure what he scanned because I didn't have my hand on my mouse. I really love the use of these mines here. Just keeps throwing them down really quickly to prevent FC9 from using a ground force effectively. Really slowing him down time and time again. Now he has to clear out those mines on the middle before he can go for the counterattack. Well, not a counterattack, but just the attack that he was intending to do. Shuttles have been spotted by the scan. Shuttles are not yet loaded up with anything at all. I assume he's focusing on this expo here. Alright, stasis is up. Interceptor capacity is being researched. All air upgrades, armor and weapon are being upgraded as well. The middle has been cleared out. Well, he sniped the probe. They're on the side. That's a great move. The Vultures do end up giving their life for it. A single one remains alive. Now more Vultures going out on the middle of the map, ignoring the Dragoons, and gonna lay down more mines here in the front of the entrance to FC9's base. 74 SCVs for Minchul now. He's recovered quite nicely, managed to buy himself some time. FC9 failed to pull off a finishing move after that huge drop killed 60 SCVs in Minchul's base. Minchul now deciding to go for the aggressive attack once again. His factory count is still pretty small, but given that he managed to keep most of them alive, most of these tanks, he can keep building up bigger and bigger and start hammering away at FC9. But whether FC9 will have his carriers out in time is a big question. Because I don't think he can afford to switch to carriers at this point into the game, because the pressure that Minchul is going to be throwing out at him is going to force him into producing just ground units. Sacrifices a lot of probes there. This is a group of just over 12. 14, and this is a group of 12, so he's throwing... Oh, never mind. It was 24 probes he's throwing away because he needs to open up supply space for those carriers, but he cannot make those carriers. He still has to keep making those ground units. There's a huge mass drop here that has been prepared. There's Archons in there. Zealots, Archons, and Templars. The drop did not get scanned because he had the shuttles there on the side. He's adding on a couple of illusions to make it appear bigger and to also make... was using illusion as a fake drop. That's interesting. That's beautiful. He's going to keep them there. Add even more to the mix. Right now he's going to fly them out over the middle to fool Minchul into thinking that this is the real drop. Flies it around, it gets scanned. Minchul pulls back, but Minchul does not know that the real drop is coming from the top side of the map. Top side of the map. Drop is now flying in. He's got them all stacked up on top of each other, so he doesn't know how many shuttles are in there and how many units are in there. And he drops it right on top of the command center. The Archons coming out, Zealots coming out. Zealots are great against the ground force. He's going for the command center first. The command center is going down very quickly because the Archons are hammering away at it. The Archons dealing a lot of damage. The command center is already gone down. Now the Zealots are there, just cleaning up whatever is left. Raids have come back to the base to fight against those Archons and Zealots, but those raids do very little damage against fully upgraded ground forces because he's got three upgrades on those Zealots and those Archons. He's trying to go for the frontal attack here on the other side as well, but most of these units that he send out here into the middle of the map are going down. They are not capable of maintaining control over the middle section there or over the pathway into FC9's base. FC9 in the meantime still wreaking havoc. Cleaned out 2 command centers, cleaned out a lot of geysers as well. About 5 depots have gone down as well. Even more are going to go down in the near future. There goes another one, there goes the armory, and he doesn't even call it a GG and leaves the game because he loses the game to FC9OOR. FC9OOR pulls off a pretty well executed final execution move there at the end. The fatality, so to speak. He finished off Minchul. It's a pretty smart move there with the misdirection, intentionally showing the drop that is basically just all hallucinations. None of it was real. At the same time, flying the real drop from the other end, where Minchul wasn't expecting it. I'm definitely going to use that in my gameplay in the future, using hallucinations to fake a drop basically, so you can fly in the real one from the other side. And the opponent will be completely caught off guard, just like Minchul was caught off guard here. He was completely focusing on something else. Absolute brilliant misdirection from FC9. I hope you enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it. This game was officially part of a series, but I kind of messed up. I casted the first game, and then I pressed on pause for the second game. And then I accidentally hit stop recording for the second game. And I casted the second game without having my recorder on. So yeah, I'm stupid. I'm dumb as fuck. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this game. Quick but decisive victory for FC9OOR over Barcode S Barcode, aka Minchul, who was the Brown Terran. Protoss, once again, comes out victorious. Goodbye and see you the next time.